Zaustavite shoppingholizam. Mijenjajte iznos dopuštenog prekoračenja te visinu kamate putem mobitela, bilo gdje i bilo kad. Kupujte pametnije uz RBA Flexi tekući račun i uslugu RBA na dlanu.
We're looking at opportunities in Croatia, investment opportunities in Croatia. Croatia is showing all the critical signs of being ready for investment. As you know, we are the world's largest technology investor, and we explore new countries earlier than anybody else. We used to look at that. We invested in Bulgaria last year. Was it last year? Last year, which is unusual because not many people are investing in Bulgaria at this stage. We're a technology investor, so we invest in technology. I'm here to do a fact-finding mission of looking at the economic situation of the country and meet with some opportunities, investment opportunities, what we call companies that we are talking to. And I'll meet with them. Intel Capitala is the investment arm of Intel Corporation. It got started in the late 80s. And it's invests in almost 40 countries throughout the world. Has 200 people and has invested $7.5 billion since it was started in over 1,000 companies. I'm sure all this data is available to you. We have been investing in this part of the world since late 90s. We have a physical team presence in Warsaw. Dan is based in Bucharest, and we have another person in Moscow. So we're expanding in the region, looking for investment opportunities. Those ratios go up and down depending on which deal closes where. If you have a very large deal closed in a certain region of the world, of course that changes the numbers very dramatically. But we are very aggressive in investing in this part of the world. I think the economic policies adopted by the various governments in this region are conducive to growth, are conducive to technology, are conducive to innovation and entrepreneurship. So we're looking to invest here.
And just to clarify, when you were referring to 8%, it's not 8% of the capital, because we don't have a capital limit, it's 8% of the invested amount in that you.
Well, the way you invest in a company is, first and foremost, you look at the management. Startup companies and companies that are in the early stages of their development are very functionally driven by the management, the quality of the management. So that's the number one criteria for any investor, including Intel Capital. Beyond that, we look at what sector they are playing in or what sector they are operating in, and that also is very important, and it varies by geography to geography. In some parts of the world, software is where we invest in other parts of the world. We're investing in Linux deployment. In other parts of the world, we're investing in consumer internet. And in other parts of the world, we're investing in everything. So we look at specific opportunities. We look at where the opportunities lie for that particular company, and then we invest.
And can you tell us where do you see the hottest opportunities in which segments of the ICT here in the region in Croatia?
Well, this region clearly one of the biggest opportunity lies in the broadband deployment. The broadband penetration in this part of the world is pretty low, and it makes sense to help get the deployment of broadband higher. So we are interested in companies that help increase the broadband connections that people have. We're also interested in consumer internet companies. As people begin to use the web and the internet, they use the web for a variety of services, financial services, for their banking needs, for their travel needs, for their social networking aspects of their life, etc., etc. So we have all those areas that people are very interested in. Software tends to be a sector that in this part of the world there are a lot of opportunities we find, and so we're always looking to invest and find software companies. Mm-hmm. Software companies are very easy to start. They do not need too much infrastructure support. Basically, a bunch of people can get together and start a software company, and all they need is a whole bunch of PCs, and they're able to. That's the totality of their infrastructure needs. One very well-known. Do you have a BlackBerry? Do you carry a BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. BlackBerry was an Intel Capitala portfolio company. RIM is an Intel Capitala portfolio company, and I invested in that company. And back in the, let me make sure I get the year right. I think it was 92. In that time frame, we can give you the exact time frame. It's a company that has approaching $1 billion market cap. So one of our more successful. But I can give you a whole slew of examples. The other examples are Broadcom. I don't know if you know Broadcom portfolio company. Marvell Technologies. Okay. We invested in Marvell. CNET. Do you use CNET? CNET was our portfolio company. This is a very risky business. Right? Investing in startup companies who haven't quite made it successful, haven't become successful, is a very risky business. A lot of companies do end up going bankrupt and do not make it. So we do have those. I give you a very, very good example, very recent example. There's a company called Ant Mobile that was basically a MVNO trying to provide a very specific type of services on a handheld device. And we invested in that company in 2005, 2006, something like that. And it went bankrupt last year. Not necessarily. It depends on growth opportunities. Let me give you a long answer. If a country is experiencing 8 or 10% growth rate, as China is doing, for example, or India has done recently, your risk obviously is lower from a business point of view. Because when an economy is growing at a phenomenal rate, the opportunities for success are greater. When consumption is expanding by 40% year on year, as it is doing, for example, in Russia, then the opportunity for businesses to succeed in that environment is much, much better. Versus an economy which is growing at 2%, which is the case with the U.S. In fact, U.S. may not be growing at all. It's harder because the business climate is very different. You're bringing your product into a market that is not growing. So in that sense, opportunities in these countries are more attractive because of the growth rate of the economy and the growth in consumption in many of these countries. I'm not sure. Did I? Yeah. So it varies. Whereas a lot of people might say that